Other interesting business news, you have the Nissan Z Heritage Edition to come in at $60,000 and become a Datsun throwback. Now, this is brought to us thanks to Adrian Padanu, who is a writer over at Motor1.com. And that does look amazing. Now they note that it honors the original Datsun 240Z, which launched in 1969, which, again, I'm kicking myself for not buying all these fun cars back in the day. Granted, I didn't have much money growing up, but there's a time where you can get those old Japanese cars for like a couple $1,000s. No, like a lot of old things that weren't appreciated in the time. And now they're all, I mean, it's hard to find any cheap car these days, but now they're highly collectible. So everyone is trying to kind of scoop those up. So gone are the days of the, cheap cars you'd find on Craigslist. And truth be told, the styling is pretty darn cool. They changed a couple of body panels, so it looks more retro. Particularly the one they have in this photo op, it looks like a nice, looks like bright orange. A couple extra pieces of vinyl they slapped on there. Now, going down a little bit more, they say that at long last, the retro-flavored Z is coming to America. It debuted in January 2022 at the Toyota Auto Salon as the Fairlady Z Customized Proto. Then the production model came along in mid-2023 as the Fairlady Z Customized Edition for Japan. Now the US gets the special edition, dubbed the Z Heritage Edition. It celebrates 55 years since the Datsun 240Z came out, which, gosh, those things are so cool. I had one friend growing up back in the day where his dad had a nice white one in the garage. And of course, they had a stick shift, as all cars should have by default. And it just looks so, it was the most unique thing in the neighborhood because no one, again, I was in the Midwest. That was the only time I ever saw one. The only other time perhaps being like a car show. And even then, they were still pretty rare in our area in the United States. And think about the angularity of those old Datsuns, it looks so unique. Now, they say that mimicking the S30 generation sports car introduced in 1969, the limited run coupe has an exclusive sight orange paint. Nissan combines the striking hue with the black decal on the hood that extends on the roof and trunk lid. There are also some stickers running along the sides, plus a Heritage Edition logo, and around the Z emblems of the rear fenders. At the front, the split grille design takes after the original Z, which I thought the grille looked a little bit different. And of course, the rear looks a lot better than the stock one as well. They say, oh, a little bit there. So picture below, the equivalent Japanese model looks cooler with a retro-flavored Fairlady Z badge in the upper grille and the rear spoiler to reflect the official JDM name. The sublow flare extensions have been added to the American version, which also gets the same 19-inch wheels finished in black. Which, yeah, that rear looks really good for a Nissan. They did a pretty good job on that one. A little bit more angular. They say in the US, the Heritage Edition is based on the Z Performance trim level and offers a choice between a 6-speed manual transmission. And they should stop. That should just be a period. For this type of car, that is what you want. It still breaks. And again, this is coming off the news that the Nissan GTR Godzilla is going to be end of production this calendar or fiscal year. And that always came with an automatic only, which is sad for the enthusiasts like myself. I understand the advantages of automatic is faster. Well, I would also argue it's also faster to just put a steak in the microwave versus grill it, but I partially digress. So this one does come with a 6-speed manual, or if you feel like you want to be dead inside a little bit, just to me, it does come with the option of a 9-speed automatic transmission. Nissan wants $60,275 after factoring in destination and handling charges, which means you'll pay a $6,165 premium over the regular Z Performance. Add on another $6,000 or so, and you'll get behind the wheel of a $66,890 Z Nismo with the range topper and automatic only, which is the most disappointing thing ever. They had the Nismo, I think the Nismo debuted last year, which is similar to like Chevrolet, how Chevrolet used to make performance cars. They used to have the Chevy SS, the trim level for the top performance trim of those vehicles, like the, you got the Camaro SS beam, the Chevrolet SS. There's a long heritage of that. But the Nissan one, the Nismo, which again, the 350Z, the old and 370Z, the old predecessors of this vehicle line, those do come with stick shifts for the top, Nismo performance package. And this one, it had slightly better brakes, lots of pieces of plastic bolted onto it. Oh, let's be honest, 3M tape. They do quality product with 3M, but it was automatic only. So a lot of the track enthusiasts were pretty disappointed when it come to the Nissan 400Z Nismo. Because again, for the track enthusiasts, which again, I know not everyone's going to track these, which is kind of heartbreaking for the engineering team to think that some of these are probably just going to be thrown in a garage with some tape, or not tape, some little car cover over it so that it'll be as an investment, which, again, very few cars historically speaking have ever beat the S&P 500. And again, it's not investment advice, but it is, I understand historic preservation, but maybe have one or two where you have like 1 mile and put them in a museum, maybe. But to me, it's kind of sad when you see all these cars where they have like no miles and it's just treated as, I mean, maybe it'll make me money someday, which again, very few cars have, historically speaking. Now, they also say that Nissan doesn't say how many cars it plans to make, but we do know that the Z Heritage Edition has limited production and is available strictly for the 2024 model year. Through the first quarter, Z sales in the US increased by 44% to 671 units. It comfortably beat the Toyota Supra, 484 cars, which suffered a 44.4% decline, which, yeah, that's pretty good for the Z to have that big of an increase in sales. That's a pretty good sales bump. And yeah, I don't know if you can really compare it to a Supra. To me, it kind of puts in a different category. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments on that. You got a couple more pictures of it. Again, it looks pretty good, but again, is it really worth that much more than the regular Nissan Z? See if there's some way to make this. Well, their slideshow is rudimentary to say the least. Trying to see if there's a way for me to actually show you it. There you go. It looks okay. Oh, it'd be nice to get a little bit more horsepower. I mean, oh, there you go. You got a nice little picture of it. We get a little interior shot with a stick shift, as all cars should have by default. And it has a good old-fashioned handbrake, which they should all have. I hate the electronic brakes, personally. There's nothing more boring than we're about to park the car, you gotta click the little toggle, like it's a window switch, to activate the parking brake. Which, granted, if it's a stick shift, you may debate you don't have to, you just leave it at first. But, yeah. To me, I like to just be able to quickly jerk the handbrake, and, well, it's also fun for drifting and stuff like that. But, yeah, it's another thing I don't like about modern cars. So, again, they are catering mostly to the enthusiasts, and I appreciate that. Again, they had interviews with Nissan executives and program directors where they say they know their customer base. They know, like they said, that one of the reasons they kept that little e-brake as a good old pull handle is because they knew people were going to have fun with the car. So I do appreciate that. Staying with them, keeping the stick shift, and it looks pretty good. It is a little sad, of course. Like many vehicles, there's a lot of carryover parts from the previous generation, being the 370Z, and again, it's a nice twin turbo V6, so pretty good power. And I was gonna say, you get a little extra decals. This is Heritage Edition. But again, I think most of these, I'm not sure how many enthusiasts will really buy it, because again, you get the knee smell, because then that's the trim level for the performance. This is the Heritage Edition. I know it's overwhelmingly mostly cosmetic. It really is all is. Do you think this will really sell beyond the standard speculators who buy them just as they're speculating it might someday become a really good fiscal investment? Do you think a lot of enthusiasts and passionate drivers will buy this? And again, they say limited. That's another reason I tell people never buy physical products that say limited and treat it like it's an investment. Because again, they're only limited by how many they can sell. I mean, the most hilarious one is when Toyota has like their limited level trim level on some cars, which again, they're the largest automotive manufacturer on the planet. The only limitation is how many they can sell to people. So that's why I always like caution people when they're looking at stuff and go, "Oh, it might be a good investment." I'm like, I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. I'm going to give you some free advice. And again, very few things in the world outpace the S&P 500. Again, not financial advice, do whatever you want, but let me know, do you think the design warrants that premium of a price? Do you think this will, I mean, a lot of people, I forget what they call the first, they had the special yellow edition when it first came out too. And I mean, people bought them up and a lot of people enjoyed it. But it is nice to see, another Heritage Edition where you still have the stick shifts. I do appreciate that from Nissan. And they are one of the few little fun sports cars you can get. Now, the only downside and detriment is how much money is the dealership going to mark these up? I mean, one of the reasons the Ford Focus RS failed so epically, and again, that was a great vehicle in terms of all-wheel drive, turbo, stick shift, by default, only stick shift. I love that. And yet, the dealerships marked them up by $10,000 plus for Ford Focus on top of MSRP. They wouldn't let people drive them. I mean, there is also another thing where the dealerships have a huge influence on how successful these cars can be. And again, with the MSRP being 6K over, okay, but what's the dealership going to add on? Would they also include another $5,000 line item, which is a market adjustment? There are a couple local Honda dealerships that still have the audacity to do that in DFW, or Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. And yeah, but I partially digress. Let me know in the comments, because as always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.